The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. I'm president and founder of Akers Financial Group, a certified financial planner practitioner, and so is our co-host today, Alex Monk, certified financial planner practitioner and financial advisor from Akers Financial Group. Good morning, Alex Monk. How are you doing today?
Oh, Brian, I'm great.
I hope you're wonderful, marvelous. What's your favorite word when describing excitement for like that for you?
They always ask me, how you doing? I say, well, I'm tall, I'm bald, and I'm beautiful.
And then they laugh.
They're just like, what?
Do they laugh or take you seriously?
It just depends on the person.
All right, so we want you to listen to this show. It's one of those things where in life you think about things, but then you live your life, and then you look up sometimes and think about your future, and then you go back to living your life. What we want you to do is this. We want you to think about your retirement, and you actually have to believe it, achieve it, to be able to build that retirement. And so we designed a show called the Believe It, Achieve It Retirement. Is that too corny for you?
It's like borderline. I mean,
well,
but it's true though, right? Like, I mean, you need, like, someone comes in, they sit down in front of me, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like,
yeah.
what?
Do you really say that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
And I want to know, like what makes you tick?
Yeah.
Because the retirement's different for everyone. Like, some people like horses, some people like boats, some people like golf, some people like pickleball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different.
More and more like pickleball until they get injured, which there's lots of pickleball injuries currently.
Cripple ball, they say.
Cripple ball. Yeah, I have not heard that one recently. I have had 4 injured in pickleball in the last couple of weeks of meetings. All right, so we're going to do a show. The show's called The Believe It, Achieve It Retirement. The idea is this. The daily grind makes us put our head down. People sometimes they'll say, oh, put your head down, work harder and harder and harder. The problem is we want you to put your head up today. I want you to think what that's going to look like in retirement for you. What is retirement for you? There's lots of choices, and they're your choices. Now, what happens is this. We start thinking about it, planning it, building our goals, setting up things to make sure that this is something that you not only believe, but you can also actually achieve it. And then, boom, you're retired, and it actually works. A financial advisor is what guides you and helps you achieve the goals that you believe.
Yeah, and making sure that those goals are attainable too, right? Like,
yeah, and the idea is like, do the numbers work? Like, we've done shows called Are You Retirement Ready? We've done many meetings where people are just so concerned, are they in good enough shape? And then the thing is that if we could get people wherever they are, whatever age you are today, we need you to look up, think about what it's going to be for you, and then let's get started when it comes to financial planning. It's not just a quick analysis and boom, you can do it yourself. The idea is this coaching come alongside is an ongoing relationship, right, Alex?
absolutely. And it changes, just like you said, right? Like,
Yeah.
people 10 years ago weren't playing cripple ball or pickleball.
Pickleball.
They weren't doing that.
They're trying to play tennis, and then that's a really hard. Pickleball is a lot easier than tennis.
But like, that's a good fun example.
They were playing lawn darts, Alex. That's what they were doing. That's dangerous too.
I was never allowed to have those as a kid.
Yeah, my wife had them. That's crazy. All right, so I had a client. The client, we built a plan for them to retire to a farm in Virginia. And they retired to the farm in Virginia, have everything going on, the land. It's more of a hunting type farm. And then this year they're saying, Brian, we're going to start camping a lot. And then they did that over the winter. They're like, and in my meeting and the review was, we liked camping in Florida. We're going to make that longer this year. And it's like, what's neat is that this retirement keeps changing for them. And we just got to build the income, have cash available to handle. If you're camping, you need fuel money.
Yeah.
Because, that costs a lot. And then you think about just building a plan so that you can do whatever you want to do. And that's their version of a retirement, is they like to be going and seeing things and doing stuff.
And, it really does. It changes so often. So what I like to be able to tell people is like, hey, look, you're financially independent. Like, okay, quit your job if you want.
Yep.
But you can do, pretty much whatever you want within your, your framework.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, what?
They actually say, what?
A lot of people are like, what? Like, really?
So when do you tell them that? Let's say a new client, you tell them that meeting 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 2 years in. When does that conversation happen?
It depends on the person, right? So some people, I think they need to hear it right away.
All right. So they come in, like I used to say on the radio a lot that if you walk through the door with your house paid off, we'll be able to find a way for you to retire. Yeah. Because you've already proven that you can live within your means and pay off debts.
Yeah, so somebody like that, or somebody that has, saved a good bit of money, a lot of times I like to say, it's like, okay, this is yours to screw up. Mm-hmm. Like mathematically, it's going to be very difficult for you to screw this up. Now you got to figure out what you want to do with it.
Yep.
And that a lot of times is the biggest struggle for people.
Some people that are savers don't want to use the money. Then there's people that are not savers. The sad part in America is that over 80% of people will not have enough to be fully retired and stay retired. And the sad part is that how do you change that? So if a radio show would come out like called Winning in Retirement, and people would listen and just listen to the fundamentals of planning. Whenever you get a paycheck, make sure you're saving. Throw money to your future self. Get that money set aside. Roth IRAs, save your money. That's what a lot of our shows are about. Today's show is this. You got to think about it and start to believe what these goals are, and then you can achieve it, but you're going to need help to help this retirement happen. You're going to need help to come alongside, and that's what financial advisory and financial planning should be. Not just someone selling you something, not just someone trying to get you to do one-time thing, but it's a long-term, ongoing financial consultations and advisory. That's why we want to meet with people on an ongoing basis.
Right. And like, we see this happen. Like, we see people retire all the time. I mean,
yeah,
I think two, three people today, just for me, I'm seeing that are retired. Right. So when you come in and ask us a question, we have lots of different experiences to tie it to. Like, I can't tell you the best route to take with your camper. I mean, I don't think anyone would let me drive one. But I've seen you drive a camper, and you can thread the needle with that thing. So I'll be like, okay, well, if you want to learn about camping a little bit, I got a guy for you.
Yeah, I love being able to tell stories about the client's successful retirements, and I just have a bunch of them. It's neat. It's like a client's like, well, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, this is how we helped that client. I have a client that did that. Oh, really? How'd they do it? And we talk about it. And the idea, like, I had this, I was trying to remember, what story was this one? Okay, so I had this client just really, really wants to move. They want to move, and they have this incredible chance where their job is going to place them within an hour of their dream retirement. And that's coming up in the next 3 months. And they're like, I don't know if we're really ready to make that move. I said, well, let's put together what it takes to make that move. Do we have the cash? Are we going to sell here and buy down there? What is going to happen? And so it's like the excitement I could see in their eyes, the fact that, it's not 3 years down the road to retire. We can move to that area we want to be in retirement now, especially with this a job that was going to be 2 or 3 years, an hour away from their dream location. It's a rare situation for them, but a great thing for a financial planning topic, and the fact that, hey, they're starting to believe that. And guess what? It's going to actually happen for them. It might be a year or so, but it'll work out.
And then taking like what's on people's papers, right? Like they show up, like all these papers. What does that mean, right? Like when do you begin to trust that?
Oh man! I had one like that. They called in, and brand new person. They're like, we want to talk with you about our finances. I'm like, okay. What's your net worth? Where's your money invested? And then you could see they like, I don't know. Like, well, have you looked at your statements anytime? Like, you save at work? Yeah, we have one of those. And I'm like, okay, well, financial advisors, we're going to do the work for you. You bring those things in, you bring your benefits, you bring your information, and we talk about what you have, and then we coach you into maximizing and doing the best with what's given to you based on your job and your ability to save.
Those clients that show up with that like giant bag of stuff.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite. Like the first time they come in, it's just like they're already winded from carrying this heavy bag, but they're like mentally crushed because they don't know what's in this bag.
They're carrying their burden in, right?
Right. So it's like, show me what you got.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
And so imagine you're listening to this radio podcast, and you're thinking, all right, believe it, achieve it, retirement. That sounds so corny. But imagine that. We're not trying to be corny. What we want to tell you is this, is that life goes fast. And before you know it, you might be nearing the age of retirement, and it might be something that drives you or you want to be retired. Or you might be the type, well, I don't want to retire. Well, your spouse might want to. And so the idea is this, are you on track for this? How's it going to work? If you're running your companies and you're having the greatest career ever, you're making money like you've never seen before, and the idea is, at 65, everyone gets everybody retires at 65 at this firm. I'm already 61. I got 4 years, Brian. What do I do now? And then, or the idea is, I got 70 at a certain age. And these things about your life that you got to keep doing your job, and financial advisors, we come alongside and do our job to help guide you, fit your goals and the income, the flow, all that work, making it work.
Yeah, and my favorite part is helping people go from that, this is kind of what I want, or this is kind of what I think, or this is what the guy next to me did, retirement, to, okay, we're going to do it. Let's go through it. Let's figure it out. And then to see them live it.
Yeah.
Is always one of the best parts.
Yeah, we have lots of stories about that today. The show's called Believe It, Achieve It, Retirement. So the concept we want you to do is this. I know we put our nose to the grindstone. We're thinking about, I got to get done today to make more money, to do better at work, to achieve things. Think longer term for a minute. While you're driving around, just think about, hey, what is retirement going to be like? Make sure you understand that this is the beginning of a plan, is setting goals and building those dreams for your financial future. At Akers Financial Group, we're local. We're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street or a big company in Iowa. We report to you. We have offices in Lutherville, Forest Hill, all around the Mid-Atlantic region, and clients all around the country, even a few around the world. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Just give us a call and schedule your meeting with one of our team of advisors. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WINRETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to AkersFinancialGroup.com or call 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. Picture yourself retired. What are you doing? Where are you? We'll talk about this when we return.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. Here with me today is Alex Monk. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group, and we are here on our radio show podcast, Winning in Retirement, talking about our topic today, the Believe It, Achieve It Retirement. Alex, we're just getting started about the Believe It, Achieve It retirement. So this is about taking the retirement that people desire and actually making it actually happen. It's a lot of fun for us, right?
I think it's great. It's like, remember those old infomercials where they're just like, set it and forget it?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like that. So.
Yeah, we want to set it and forget it, and then we want to talk about it once a year. Some clients call, when we call to ask for the annual meeting, they'll say, what do we need to meet them for? We want to check up on you, see what's going on.
I have this lady, she's like 84 now, but when she switched, she hadn't seen her advisor for years.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to her once a year.
Minimum, right?
Minimum.
Yeah.
Well, it was twice a year, but that didn't last long. She's like, I don't understand why he keeps calling. We do not need to keep talking.
Yeah.
So now we got down to once a year, but it's just different. The other places weren't even calling her.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between planning and advice versus somebody that's a sales organization trying to sell something, or if they manage money only, are they managing money with the whole plan in mind? Taxes, insurance, income planning, what's going on in your life? I don't think we can actually manage money without knowing what you need it for. The purpose of what you're doing and why you're doing it dictates exactly how to invest money. It's a big deal to us.
Yeah, and it makes it more fun, right?
Yeah.
You assign a goal. You're like, hey, I want this money to be a beach house in Florida in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do it?
Absolutely. Now, this quarter, we're covering where someone needs to take a time and think about and picture yourself retired. And if you're think about that, don't close your eyes and do that. You might be driving. That'd be dangerous. But imagine if you were actually retired, where are you? What are you doing? And so the idea is you can have a vision about it. You can think about it. You can, maybe you've been on vacation and and you sit down at a couple places and you go, hey, that could be a nice place to be for retirement for a while. I think it's a great thing to do is to try to think about what you're going to be doing in retirement.
I mean, I'm trying to think about that for myself, and the answer changes so many times.
Yeah, well, imagine you and I are, say, 20 years apart in age. Retirement is, let's say, in the future, in the future for me, very soon, meaning under 15 years, let's say. You, say, 30 years, maybe, if you want to. But the idea is that vision might not be as real or has to be as real to you. But doesn't retirement, in your mind, for someone, let's call it mid-30s or so, I forgot your age right now, and you're thinking about you, and we're thinking about your retirement. Do you worry about retirement, or do you dream about retirement? What goes through your head?
I guess for me, it's kind of I wouldn't call it worrying.
Yeah.
It's one day.
Yeah, but that one day, for me, the concept of totally retiring and not working is not the happiest thought for me. I like the idea of, I love my job. I want to keep working, but I know there's a day when I shouldn't keep working.
Yeah, that's the tough one is how do you hang it up before you start making mental mistakes too?
Yeah.
And a lot of people see that.
Well, there's a concept out there called the no retirement. And that's where the idea is, all right, I love my job, but any day I can walk away. And that's truly financial independence, which is truly the first step we want with all of our clients. Once they're financially independent, the retirement date or any of those other things just happen when you're ready.
Right.
There is no date you have to retire, even though some companies might have that, or they might tell you that. Or in your family, you might think, oh, well, Aunt Jane retired at 62. I'm out at 62. Ready or not, here I come. I've had a couple of those. And
I've had people show up where it's just whenever I'm this age.
Yeah, but do they stay clients? A lot of them don't like our answer is that, you need to save money if you want to retire at that age. You just can't retire to retire.
Well, but I'm going to be 62, Brian. Why not?
Because your parents had a pension and Social Security, and you don't have a pension, and you never saved their money that you need to do. That's what sad stories I've had to say to first-time people we meet.
Well, and what you were talking about, that financial independence is that's everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can work because you want to. And how does that change your attitude towards work?
Yeah, I had the attitude towards work is going to be where the stress of it, well, it's if I don't like this, I wouldn't be here anymore. If I enjoy it, I'll keep doing it. And I had people tell me that, and I said, okay, that's good. That's fine. That allows your money to grow more. There'll be more for you, for your family. The hardest part is we don't get more life.
Right.
So there has to be a balance between lowering your stress and actually enjoying what you work so hard for and enjoying your career, a little bit of both.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially, some of the weird cases you see where someone works till they're 70 and, the next week they get hit by a bus or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's very sad when people pass away before what would be considered a life expectancy. And the idea on the financial planning side is, well, what do we do? Do we spend all of our money now? I think you have to have a balance between now and later. You need to know that you're okay in the future so that you can spend it now. We don't want to spend it now and have nothing in the future. You got to have a good balance.
Right. I agree with that so much. I tell people, you don't want to just wait and put everything off. Mm-hmm. You got to enjoy some of it today.
Absolutely.
But then let's figure out where that number is, right? What's that key amount that you need to save, and then everything else will be fine from there. And then you're the one that has to pick out what your life looks like.
Yeah, and you're going to be doing things that you enjoy. And then one of the things that makes that stress level go down is the fact that there's money in the bank. There's money to pay the bills that month. Your bills are lower, and you have enough, and you can actually exhale. and relax. Have you ever had a client, they're retired when they walk back in and all of a sudden their stress level is just gone?
You can tell like they've filled out all their paperwork. Everything's already been moved.
Yeah.
They're not on as big of an edge. That's one of the greatest feelings is, they show up with all these papers like, well, I'm going to get this payment. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. Right. Mm-hmm. And nothing's started yet.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I don't really trust it.
Yeah. Not to all those checks are coming every month. Usually between 1 and 2 years into retirement, all of a sudden there's that moment when they sort of lean back and breathe and go, oh, this is working. I like that. Yeah. I don't have to watch the markets every day. I don't have to stress over what's going on because I know it's being handled. I know it's being taken care of. And then if they have a question, they call us. If they need a little more money, they call us. Ultimately, they're delegating that stress. They're letting the risk go to us and let them cash the checks.
And usually like that first 6 months of retirement, there's this huge list of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff I've been putting off, whatever it is. You clean out this room, that room, the other. Yeah. And then you see people like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah. Well, what's funny is when the wife might have a list saying, oh, this is all the stuff he's got to do tomorrow. And then the husband's like, Brian, I'm retired. I don't need to do that tomorrow. I can do it next week, the week after. She's like, we need to get it done. We got to travel. And so it's different when you have a husband and wife that has different motivations and what they want to accomplish. There's phases of life when you retire where you get things organized and straight. You do all the things that you've always wanted to do around your home and everything else. And then all of a sudden you want to start going and traveling. Some people do that. Some don't really enjoy it. Whatever that next is. And then they go. And then all of a sudden things start to slow down after they've sort of been maybe around the world a couple of times, whatever you want to describe it.
Yeah, it's like they're like, nah, I'm done with traveling. I've seen that. I've done that.
Yeah, well, that's usually the husband, and then the wife just goes without him. We have a few of those, right?
That's usually like, late 60s?
Yeah, between 69 and 75 is when the guys drop out when it comes to travel. Well, some do into their 80s, and then we have ladies who travel and drive into their 90s as clients. Pretty amazing.
It's great to see, but like you said, it's different for everyone. And then you have these people like, oh, I moved to see my grandkids. And then everything's great for the first couple of years. And then the grandkids become grand teens or whatever the age limit is. And they're like, well, I don't really see them anymore. So,
yeah, and those are all part of these decisions of where do we move in retirement if they want to move. Like when they talk about, oh, I want to save money on tax and move out of Maryland or a certain state. And I'll say, well, why? What's the other reason besides taxes? Because every state charges something. Every state spends about the same amount of money, and they need money coming in. They're going to make it one way or the other. So you got to understand basically the standard of living, the cost of living there, and is that what you want?
Right. And for me, it's family. It's like, where's your family going to be?
Family, I believe, should be a driver. I think that where you're locked in, tied in, could be your church family, it could be your volunteer, whatever you're working on, whatever that desired retirement would be when it comes to actually what you're going to do. I think that's a very big deal.
And for a lot of people, like they come in, they're like, oh, I'm tired of paying taxes in Maryland, Alex. I'm like, okay, that's whatever. Where do you want to move? And you add in the cost of traveling back to here or wherever their kids are. From Florida or wherever they're at,
right?
And it's about the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So this quarter, what we're trying to talk about is the fact that you think about where you are in your retirement, and you think about what you want to do in retirement. Now, some of you might be next year. You want this retirement to be ready to go. It might be in the future. It might be long future, and sometimes if it's long in the future, you might want to put it off. Mathematically and financially, the sooner you start, the better. You can let the money do the work for you. And that's an amazing thing is the younger we are, we got to get started putting that money to the future.
It doubles a lot faster that way.
Absolutely. Compounding of investing is one of the best things that we need to pay attention to. And we really, really need to make sure that we understand investments, how they work, and how they can help you and let that money work for you over multiple years gives you the ability for that money to grow.
Yeah, and to trust in yourself, right? Like that financial independence is such a big deal.
Yeah, so at Akers Financial Group, everything we do is about you. Your retirement is as unique as your fingerprint. When you sit down with us, we start by taking a look at your financial fingerprint. We talk about you and where you are right now. Things like where's your net worth? How do you invest? How much are you earning? Then we talk about what you want to do in your retirement. What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? We want you to start to set goals, to believe it, so we can build this retirement that you can achieve. What is your desire for retirement? So go ahead and give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE and schedule an in-person or Zoom meeting. That free meeting will be set up with one of our team of advisors. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE or go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Ready, set, go. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
All right, welcome back again to Winning in Retirement. This is the second half, the third quarter of Winning in Retirement. This is our radio podcast put on by Akers Financial Group. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Alex Monk. We're certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group, and we're here to talk about our show, Winning in Retirement. And winning in retirement begins by believing it, then you can achieve it. And that's the retirement we want our clients to have. So imagine that you have a desire for your retirement. What we need you to do is this. Let's take that desire for retirement and let's begin to make it a reality through planning so that you know you can actually do it. Now, this quarter, we're calling it Ready, Set, Go. Now, what does that mean to you, Alex?
Man, it brings back flashbacks of races as a kid.
Okay. Oh, you were a runner?
No, I was not.
Okay.
I hated it.
Oh, but somebody made you run.
Ready? Yeah, I mean, you had to run as a kid, but it's like, okay, you get ready, like you get up to the start line, so at least you know what you're doing.
Yep.
Right? You know the game you're about to play, and then set, like, okay. And then you're off. And like with retirement, Brian, you want that to be just once.
Yeah, you want to retire and stay retired.
Yeah, like if that's your goal.
Yeah.
But you want to know, okay, hey, I'm leaving my career once.
Yeah, so this go in this conversation this quarter is the actual packing the box up at the office and walking out the door and you're done.
Right, it's not that, I'm going to drop my papers in 6 months conversation. It's the...
Yep.
I'm at home now.
It's the 1 month before you have your last day. We have a talk. We make sure all your papers are turned in, and we talk about health care and what pension options, if you had any, and where we're going to get money the next month. Where's it going to come from? Do we have money set in cash that we can use? And then we talk about the meeting a few weeks after you retire when we can talk about rolling money over and putting it together and building the portfolio of protected and money at risk and building to beat inflation over time with income and really working that all out.
Right. And the most important thing there for me is typically that first month, right? People aren't going to be getting a lot of their normal, call it full-on retirement income sources yet because you got like these in between, whatever, yada, yada.
Yep.
So knowing, hey, we have enough cash here to make it 6 months.
Yep.
Whenever other stuff starts showing up, we're fine. But like, we don't want to make any big knee-jerk reactions that first month either. Mm-hmm. That's where you make big mistakes, and there can be some tax implications. There can be all kinds of stuff happening.
Oh, tell me about a few of your clients that have been getting ready to retire and then retire. What did you do with them? How did you work with them? How did you work through it?
So we start. Let's just say I've known them for a while. I guess at this point.
Yeah. So you're planning, getting ready to retire. They've been a client for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, hey, Alex, this is the year where I'm actually going to retire. Mm-hmm. And then depending on the age, we go over, health insurance first.
Yeah.
Like that's the big one.
Especially if they want to retire before 65, they got to have a plan for this health care.
Yeah. I mean, and that plan is usually what I call $1,000 a month per person.
Yep.
Or you have it through a pension. Mm-hmm. And, just kind of is what it is, right? If that's the conversation that we're having, that's part of the budget and it needs to be there. And when you're on Medicare, you're going to pay, whatever, $400 or $500 a month anyway. So it's not like a crazy different number, but it's one that a lot of people don't think about.
Yeah. So the pre-65 is basically healthcare drives a lot of people to work to 65. And then they have the Medicare, which has a Medicare premium. And then you have a supplement. So you have two plans and then a prescription, and they all add up. So they're all part of that decision is the healthcare. What other decisions do you help them through at this kind of time?
All right. So then it's like, okay, where am I going to get my money?
Yeah.
Some people are like, well, when am I going to get my first paycheck? Like, that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
So then we got to make sure, okay, hey, this is where our cash flow is coming from. Are we setting up Social Security? Are we setting up your pension? Are we setting up withdrawals from your retirement accounts? Like, where are we getting money from? And like, I think that's the second biggest thing that we help people with is the logistics.
I love having clients before retirement to build up multiple buckets, multiple choices of where money's going to come from. So I can layer it out. I can affect tax-free and get some tax-free money and also have money that's taxable that I have to take and sort of build the income plan. I'm trying to keep taxes lower so that I can avoid things like IRMA tax, which is the IRMA is the Medicare income-related monthly adjustment amount that we have to watch out for if you make too much a certain year. So just balancing this all out so that the people get steady money, but also money that's predictable and they can count on it and beat inflation over time.
Right. And then it's like, how do I get it? Right. Like I see it on this statement.
Well, how do you answer? How do you get it? How do you answer that?
So, typically when they're a client here, everything's linked to your checking account. Mm-hmm. Like we want your life to function just like it did before, right?
Yep.
You're going out, whether you're working for your paycheck or you've already worked for it and you're just receiving it, right? For money you saved. We want it to show up just like normally would. Maybe not twice a month, but once a month. And that way it's predictable. We know exactly, how much your monthly bills are at that time. So it should be a pretty smooth scenario.
Yeah. Give me an example of someone you talked to recently that you've had to go through some of this with them. What kind of responses they have back to you? Like, do they automatically have everything thought out, or does it take a slow process, fast process?
I mean, people, they try to think of as much ahead of time as they can.
Yeah.
Right. But you're never going to get it all because you've never done it before. I think money, like where's my first check going to show up? Like that's usually like the biggest.
Well, especially like federal government, they're waiting 3 or 4 months before they even get a first check in current retirement.
Yeah. I mean, all the systems are behind, like everything's.
Yeah.
Social Security's taking forever. So I usually have at least 6 months on hand of cash. Like, hey, this is the process. You're going to retire. Here's every dollar that we're going to need to live on for the next 6 months, regardless of what happens.
Right.
And then let's just start getting the ball rolling with, your medical, your pension, your Social Security. Take it from there.
So the idea is you might be motivated by this actual retirement, or you might be motivated by the idea of financially independent. And then the reality is that motivation gets you to save and build the money so that you have these choices. Imagine that if you don't have those choices and make those choices and set aside small amounts of money to become large amounts of money, you're not going to have those retirement paychecks. And especially you won't have those retirement playchecks, the ones where you're going to have the extra fun with. It's terrible in retirement when you look at everything. Well, I want to do some things, but I don't have to get a job if I want to do anything. Or if I want to have a certain project in my garage, I need to go get a job to pay for it. We don't want those kind of things by planning ahead and saving and investing in a way so that the money will be there when you need it.
Right. I mean, because you got to remember, no one wants to retire and just sit on their couch.
It's not a long retirement if you do that.
Right. It just doesn't, it's not sustainable. It's not healthy.
Not healthy. Yeah.
So like if you hate your job that much, then maybe fundamentally there's something else happening.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because if your plan is to stay at home and not do anything, you're going to be just as miserable, if not more. Mm-hmm. And then if you're not working all day, it usually costs some type of money to go out and entertain yourself.
Absolutely. That was one of these clients I have. They've been a client for about 10 years. And the goal was they were going to do 20 years to get a pension from the federal government. But they would have to work to 72 because they had a private career and then they went to the government job. And they're like, oh, man, I got to work to 72. This meeting at 68, I said, you're ready to go now. We don't even need that pension. And they're like, what? And I said, you don't even need the pension now based on your expenses, the money you need versus the money we have saved and built up that you've done worked so hard for you 4 years earlier, and we don't even need to wait on that pension. And they're like, I like my job right now. And I said, well, that's the great thing. You're financially independent. You can actually, I'll just keep going.
Did you really tell him to walk from that pension?
I did, actually, because the idea was his wife wants to retire. So the thing is, we're going to have her retire in January of 25 because they're ready. She doesn't need to work and max save anymore. He can work and do what he wants. His job went full remote. And he's like, I enjoy it. I don't mind it. It's like, and that's the concept of this no retirement is that, hey, if you love it, do it. If it holds you back from doing the things you want to do in retirement, then you might need to figure out another way and actually retire. But I did say that the numbers were good enough to do it. I never try to say, you retire now, sign it, do it. I don't push them like that hard. But I give them the financial planner approval saying you're good to go.
I have a difficult time getting people to spend the money. I think that's one of my biggest struggles.
You're talking about the big savers that won't get a new car. They won't fix their house up and they need it for safety reasons, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes they're like, well, if I have $500,000 in the bank, I feel okay.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's different when it comes to planning. These are people that have saved tremendously well and build up wealth, and there's a lot of other planning what we need to do for them because they really have never had to worry about retirement probably since their early 40s and 50s because they have a mindset of always saving and never ever spending. Their standard of living, what they need to live on, is so little.
Yeah, and my biggest thing that I try to preach to them is like, look, you're both healthy right now. Mm-hmm. I'd rather you, like, there's just going to be more money coming into the bank. Like, we're not even spending the income yet. Like,
yeah, so getting them to say, oh yeah, I agree with you, Alex, I'm going to be okay. And knowing they're okay, that's a big hurdle there, isn't it?
Right, because like they know, like they've known since we've met, like the numbers are on their side, right? And the numbers just keep going up. It's not like they're getting lower. So how do I get you to trust that's like one of my biggest hurdles?
I understand. And the thing is that we work it out with clients. I had this one client for a long time. They went from 5 days to 4 days to 3 to 2.5. Then finally he stopped. He just said, Brian, I'm done. And I was just so surprised. His wife and I thought he would never stop. And then he played golf for like 5-8 years, and then he stopped that too. But it was interesting. All right. So the best part of retirement is truly when you get your time back. It becomes your time. You decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, like mainly your job. A lot of that goes away in retirement. Your time is now consumed by things that you want to do. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Scroll to the schedule meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation with one of our team of advisors. That's akersfinancialgroup.com. Or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to akersfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. So, you did it. You are really ready to retire. Are you? We'll explain when we come back in a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to the fourth quarter of Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, President and Founder of Akers Financial Group. Here with me today is Certified Financial Planner Practitioner Alex Monk. He's been with Akers Financial Group for more than 13 years. Co-hosts a radio show, helps run the portfolios with their private management at Akers Financial Group, and many other things. He's a financial advisor, father of one small child.
One very small, crazy man.
Not really small.
He is small, I think, for his age.
Okay, but change your life though.
Oh my gosh, it's fine. I don't give him too bad of a.
Now, what's neat is this. The radio show, we want you to hear us talk about financial planning. We are trying to explain how we do it, how we work with our clients. And what happens is this. You're listening and you say, oh, That's what I want. And that's what the purpose of the show is this. We want you to win in retirement. That's why we do this show. That's why we do financial planning. We help people believe, achieve retirement. So today's show is called the Believe It, Achieve It Retirement. So the idea is not anything different than you've heard on all of our other shows. If you haven't heard them all, okay, go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com, hit the radio podcast, and right there will be a copy of the shows in the past. You can listen through podcasts anywhere, Winning in Retirement, and we're right there. You can listen to it anytime you want. It's a great way to get to know us and how we work, but then you need to call. What we do is we have a free meeting. That free meeting is we get to know each other. We talk about your goals. We talk about how we do this, how we get paid doing it through a combination of planning fees, fee-based financial planning, which is a combination of fees for active management and or commissions if it's the right thing based on what the person needs. So we build this through our independent financial group on based on what that client needs. Imagine advice that's driven by the client, and then we have the ability to implement whatever that client needs. That's what we've designed here at Akers Financial Group.
So you're telling me that if someone walks through the door, they're not getting one of 5 things?
No. And my staff hates that concept. It'd be so much easier to run an office selling one thing because then you just track it. But we have lots of staff because we do lots of things for clients. We have to have gathering software to bring it all together. We have to know how to do paperwork for many, many, many companies.
Right, and that's my favorite part about working here is we're not trying to find the people that fit our niche as a business, right?
Right.
Our business is evolving to that client.
Yeah.
And as that, that landscape, that financial landscape changes, like we have to be able to change with them.
Oh, it's amazing as the clients do very well saving, and then they have a new planning things they need, and that's what we want to stay on top of. Is as you achieve different net worth levels, you get to that 8, 16, 25, 50, $1 million levels. What happens is there are other taxes you have to worry about, and we don't spend a lot of shows talking about them. But life changes as you become more and more successful, and good proper planning. You become successful, and it's like, well, what are you going to do now? It's a fun thing for us. Some people get burdened down by, oh, Brian, what do I do?
So many people, like you can see the weight on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Whether they inherited a bunch of money or they've saved it, however they got it, right? If it's not like something that they love doing, which I think would qualify us, right?
Yep.
They're just overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, so this quarter is, so you did it. You actually achieved it. You saved all that money. And then it comes down to, are you really ready to retire? And then the idea is, well, what am I going to do? I believe people should think about what they're going to do. What's retirement going to look like? Because the job you had prior to retirement pays a lot better than switching to another job in retirement.
Like if you have I have a lot of people, especially now since the pandemic, right? Where people have gone to retire and their boss is just like, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? Well, we're going to pay you 60% of what you made to stay anywhere in the world for 15 hours a week.
Yep.
And it's like, well, why would I ever leave?
Yep. I have multiple examples of clients who work for a company. And one says, all right, I'm 65. I'm going to go move where my kids are in Minnesota, and I'm going to be retired there or get a job out there. And they're like, no, you can work remote, same benefits, same salary. Oh, you can cut down. Well, we won't make your salary go down much more. I had one case where the guy who was a small company, the owner wanted to retire semi, and so their main assistant, he said to her, hey, I'm going to retire, but I can't do all this without you. I want to keep working 2 days a week. Can you keep working 2 days a week? I won't change your salary. So what she was making 5 days, she's down to 2 days, same salary, because the boss wanted to just keep at it and give him something to do. And she's like, I can't retire from that, Brian.
I was going to do it the same thing 5 days a week. So it's like those scenarios, you can't plan for those.
No.
Like we were ready to go at the end. We're ready to go.
Yeah. So the idea is is that everybody's different when it comes to their retirement. Some people get sick and they can't go back to work. And those are the ones where we really want to meet people early and younger so that they're ready for scenarios we can't control. But the idea is the opposite, where you've saved it all and now you get to choose your retirement, which not everyone gets to choose their retirement, but those that do, usually we've talked to them ahead of time anyway and got them ready. And that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the one that show up and it's like, hey, I just retired, are usually the ones that weren't ready.
Yeah, they decided, they did it, and then they come in and then, oh, am I okay? And then we're just squeezing for money, constantly trying to fit their bills. It's not a stress-free retirement like we would hope them to have.
Well, because sometimes like people, they see this big number on their 401k statement or whatever, and they're like, yep, I'm there.
Yep.
I got 1.5, I mean, whatever the number is. And they don't realize that, oh, they're only 58, or I need health insurance for 7 years, or all my money's pre-tax, like all these different things that they're not counting on. And like, if you take big withdrawals early in your retirement, especially if you're younger, it really hurts your math long term.
I had this client who adopted a girl in her 50s, and I said, you can't retire in 6 years. Your daughter's going to go on to college. You need to keep working there.
I thought she adopted a 50-year-old.
No. She was in her 50s when she adopted. And so it's like, well, what are you going to do about college? Are you going to retire before or during or after? And she's like, I haven't thought that far ahead.
It's wild, though, to see.
But it's individual decisions. So imagine financial planning is driven off of goals. It's driven off of you. And then those goals and those objectives drive how you should invest your money. Yes, we actively manage money for clients. We build portfolios that are designed based on their core and then satellites of risk or lower risk. And we have money that's protected to give us some of the income we need that we can rely on, that will grow over time. And we build this out, and that's where we worked with clients for many, many years to make this happen.
Yeah, and I tell people, they're like, well, how can you expect, how do you think I'm going to do if we make these changes? I'm like, well, we're going to take less risk than you're currently taking, and we'll probably do better on the return side. Because there's so many people out there that are just, by not looking at it, by not knowing what they got going on in their money, they're usually duplicating or quadruplicating things that they don't need to have.
Absolutely. We want people to control on what they can, but we want them to have a fundamental financial structure to make this retirement last a lifetime. Lifetime means we don't know how long we live. So the way you structure investments is to live a lifetime of money. So you do have to watch the money in your early retirement years to save it for those later retirement years to balance out the life.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone walked through the door and they were like, hey, this is exactly how much money I'm going to need for long-term care expenses, this is when I'm going to die, the math is very easy.
Yeah.
But, we don't know those things, nor would you want to. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, so the idea is increasing the probability of making this money last a lifetime through the structure of how you invest. And that's what we've been doing for many, many years, is building portfolios that have a protected side that don't have downside risk. And then we add the at-risk side, diversified portfolios to that to grow and beat inflation over time. Because what happens when people come in, some of them come in and they have a retirement of fear of running out of money. They just want to know if they're going to be okay or if there's a way to make sure they don't run out of money. What we do is design a retirement income plan that doesn't just squeeze for income, but plans for it. Retirement should be where you're financially and personally freed. You have the freedom from your finances and personal working life to be able to do what you want and the money to do it.
Yeah, earlier I think you said paychecks and play checks.
Yeah, you want to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, but you want to have your paychecks, right? Like your bread and butter, whatever it is.
I love it. Somebody doesn't know what they need. I say, well, what's your net bring home now? Let's target that. Let's make sure you have the same net bring home. And then what else you want to do? And that's the play checks. It's like, let's add that on top. And then that's the math of the beginning. Then we see where they are and see if they merge or match at a certain age and sort of go.
And it's funny because like those numbers are cash flow numbers, and they're usually, people are like, oh, I make $200,000 a year. That's how much I need in retirement. It's like, well, no, that's very untrue.
Yeah. And but taxes can be brutal. There are some situations where they think they're going lower in tax brackets in retirement, and they're just really not because of company plans, stock, all kinds of things that are going to be fully taxable in their future years.
You show people like, okay, so when you turn 75, that's going to be your best income year.
You're going to pay more tax than ever. And there's this person called Irma we have to teach you about. All right, so this show's gone fast. It's been a show about believe it, achieve it, retirement. The idea is taking where you are and your retirement, the desires for your retirement, doing the work now so that you can have a plan to make it last a lifetime. That's exactly what we're trying to cover today on our show. Alex Monk, thank you very much for a good show.
It's been great.
I know we had lots of other stories we could tell. You can always come by, see Alex and us and have us tell stories. We love doing that. Usually coffee's involved. Is that true?
Coffee or something with caffeine.
Yeah, got to be caffeine for that. All right, so today we covered the Believe It, Achieve It Retirement. This is going to be on our webpage at akersfinancialgroup.com. Within the week, go right there and listen to it again if you want to get motivated to get your own retirement in order. We do look forward to meeting with you. We want you to win in retirement. So take advantage of the opportunity to begin working with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors, go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Scroll to the schedule a meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free meeting. That's akersfinancialgroup.com, or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go to akersfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.